Alright. Hello everybody, we are here queuing a 1 versus 1 match on the Age of Empires 4. Technical stress test. That's going to be floating around the screen the whole time. Just going to give you guys my first impressions of Age of Empires 4. While we're searching, let's talk about a few things. Number one, the minimap is a little bit cluttered. There's big icons for berries, for animals, for gold, and all sorts of things, and it does end up a little bit cluttered. Sacred sites, which you can capture as an alternate win condition, all that sort of stuff. It does end up a little bit cluttered on the minimap. Not the end of the world. I think my bigger concern is that they've taken the resources from the top of the screen, which I'm so used to, and put it down in the bottom left over there. It's just kind of a bummer. So I'm like, why move things? Why? It's like when Facebook redoes its design. I'm kind of sad about that. So that's a small annoyance. I think the two big concerns I have so far with Age of Empires 4 that have taken away the enjoyment, which there's a lot of enjoyment. I'm really enjoying this game. And I have high hopes, but they are hopes. They are just that at this point in time. So we've still got to see exactly where we go from there. So it's just one of those things where I'm kind of like waiting and just seeing, hey, wait a second, how good is this game? Is it going to be good enough? Well, there's two big things which are missing right now. One is a wireframe down the bottom, which shows the units you have selected, allows you to pull back the weak hit point ones, which you can do in pretty much every other RTS. I'm not sure if you can do that in Age of Empires 2, but I do that in StarCraft 2 all the time. I feel like, yeah, I do that in Age of Empires 2 as well. I see which village is taking damage and pull it back, that sort of thing. And it is just a huge thing. So it's definitely one of those things where I'm like, oh, okay, why don't we have a wireframe? Check it out. We do, but you can't individually select the units. You can't control shift them. You can't shift click them. There's nothing you can do with that actual wireframe. So the wireframe is useless, which takes away a lot of what you would want to do as an RTS player. So that's kind of a bummer, personally. I think it just limits what you can do in the game. And it means that, hey, you're going to have to do more things manually on the screen rather than using that wireframe. Other huge thing, guys, check out these icons. They're all indistinguishable. They are all just gold on a blue background. Why is there no color? I really, really, really hope they decide to change that, because when you're learning an RTS, especially a game as deep as Age of Empires, I mean, if you've been playing as a dev or a playtester or a bunch, you might not notice because you get to just learn what these things are. But as a new player, it just makes it that much harder to remember what the hell does all these buttons do. What's this button? What's that button? Oh, that's a scout. That's a villager. It's just one of those things that's going to slow down onboarding players. And it's made it less enjoyable for me as I kind of constantly hover over, read tooltips, things which you wouldn't really expect an RTS veteran and, you know, someone who's a grandmaster in StarCraft 2 and played, you know, a bunch of other RTS games basically my whole life. You wouldn't expect me to be constantly like, what's this thing? Is this the one I want? And yeah, I'm reduced to grandpa status right now, trying to remember exactly what all of these upgrades do. So anyways, let's just talk about the gameplay for a little bit, my plan. So I'm playing as Britons, guys. Going to be important for me. Just using sheep. I don't need a mill early. We can go straight for gold. And why do we need gold? Because we need gold to get up to the next stage. Now, you don't do that on your town center. You actually use a villager and you pick one of these two buildings, 400 food, 200 gold. We're going to go Council Hall. That's basically a barracks that pumps out longbowmen very quickly. And we're just queuing our scout to go look for more sheep after dropping all those sheep off there. You want to always drop the sheep off rather than telling them to go on their own, because otherwise their scout can come in and grab them. But while the sheep are following your scout, they cannot be stolen from you, which is awesome. For anyone out there who's not a fan of getting lamed in Age of Empires 2, not possible in this game. Just build two houses, just to make sure that's solid. As long as you've got enough sheep, you don't need farms, you don't even need a mill for the berry bushes, guys. It's actually kind of insane. Now, I also don't think you need any buildings to get up to the next stage. I think it's just the resources. Normally, I've always got a mill on the berries, but because you get such an insane amount of sheep on most of these maps, I'm realizing that I can probably just get that 200 gold going a lot earlier and find myself with a much more efficient build, put on a bit of a pressure, and do that. Here is a trade post, so it's like a neutral market. So you can send traders there to trade to get gold from it, or you can just buy resources from it later on in the game if you want to. And you'll also notice that you can just build your resource structures on the buildings, because buildings do not block, guys. Palisades, walls block, but buildings, they don't block in this game. Now, I didn't get that many sheep, which tells me I think my opponent probably did a much better job than me of getting out there and actually securing all of those. And, oh, we're almost there on the food. All right. Okay, what's this? House of Wisdom, landmark building already? Oh my god. That's really early. I think I'm playing good players, guys. This is not what I was expecting. We just need 10 more food for our council hall. And that's our super barracks. Now, we probably should have built that closer to our thing in a safer position, because that takes a long time to build. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to get all 5 to build it, and that should be awesome. Now, we're just going to rally all of our new villagers there to try and pick up... Oh, hello. He just ran in, and your town center shoots arrows on its own, guys, which is pretty handy. Also, as English, you've got longbowmen. So we're going to rally onto the food now, make sure we can keep up that villager production, and... we're just going to come on back over here. So we need lots of food and wood to produce longbowmen. We don't really need gold, which is why we pulled off it immediately after. And the next thing we want to do, we can pull one off wood, and we can, of course, just get that mill. So obviously, we'll build farms around the mill, farms around our town center a bit later. For now, we just chilling. You can see there's relics that also give you resources, just like Age of Empires 2. We can also zoom out slightly more, so let me do that, as I know a lot of you want to see a bit more of what's going on. That was a big request, which initially it sounded like they weren't interested in adding in. They copped a lot of flack. People saying, hey, if you're not going to listen to the community, it's going to be another crappy RTS. And it's good to see they backflipped on that and actually turned around and did it. So I'm feeling pretty hopeful, guys. In terms of... I really just hope they add some color. Color to these would just be such a big change. So he just got Feudal Age. Now we're going to get Feudal Age as soon as this is done. So you don't need to cut villager production to go up to the next stage. And bam! Okay, let's go, guys. So check it out. We just started building longbows. Now let's build a blacksmith. So you can notice we're going to go WQ. So it's grid hotkeys by default. Build our blacksmith. That's going to, of course, give us some more upgrades there. And check out the production queue, by the way, guys. See, we've got the production queue here. So we've got 2 longbowmen queued. This builds longbowmen crazy fast, by the way. They cost 40 food, 50 wood. And now I select the town center. This is the villager queue. Okay, gonna put these guys back on gold because we do want to get the economy upgrades. And all right, so my scouts here, it's gonna go ahead, see what we're going into, and we'll go over there and see if we can do a little bit of damage to our opponent. So we're going to rally longbowmen over there, villagers pumping out. You can't build town centers until you have 300 stone. And their wood cost goes up. Oh no, they're 400 with 300 stone. So they're incredibly expensive, but they are available in Feudal Age. Okay, so what do we got? Barracks, and it looks like just some spearmen, guys. So spearmen, pretty weak against archers. Obviously, their specialty is cavalry. So, like right now, I'm F2ing, and I'm trying to select all my archers. It doesn't do anything, guys. I can F2 and then shift out that guy, but it is what it is. So notice we're coming forward here. We're going to try and fight this. Oh, his scout's coming in to fight me one at a time. So obviously, we're playing against quite a few noobs, guys. And it is what it is. Now, I've noticed that there are some outpost type structures as well. I don't know if I can build them, though. Stone wall tower. There is an outpost as well. Defensive building. Let's try and build one of those forward. So I've seen people using this to defend. So let's see if we can build a tower forward. And let's see if we can deny some resources here. So let's go forward, see if we can kill some of their guys. And bam, we're on their production. Classic RTS game, guys. Kill or be killed. And if your opponent's a little slow to get up to the next stage, to do what they need to do, they can end up in big trouble. Now, we're looking for villages, we're looking for wood lines, we're looking for just exposed units everywhere. So let's move one villager up there, see if we can find that wood line. That's usually one of the most powerful things you can do in an age game, is deny someone's wood. Now, we ran out of food there on those sheep, so we're going to do that, building a few more houses. Notice this wood line is a little bit crowded, so we're going to go and build a lumber camp over there. Now, meanwhile, this guy's coming in from that side. We're going to bring the archers in from the left. Horsemen, or scout, sorry, it's not a horseman. There. And it looks like, oh, that's the town center. So notice it shoots at me by default. So we're going to see if we can kind of just stand ground, I guess. What is this? Stand ground is V. All right, so we're just going to stand ground there and see if we can picket some units. Oh. Oh, get in the watchtower. Oh, it shoots on its own, does it? Okay, so this is the outpost, guys. Which I decided to go build there. And it looks like it just does a little shitty arrow. And I think it would probably shoot more if I put more guys in it. So that's something we're going to try to move down over there and see if we can get back to it. This guy is over there. So let's see if we can put him on stand ground in range of those guys as well. Obviously, building an arch a thing there is a bit of a bummer. Now let's get economic upgrades. Now we're in Feudal. We can get 15% extra wood upgrading. Go to the mill. You can want to get wheelbarrow and then horticulture are the big upgrades. Wheelbarrow increases all your villages' capacity and their movement speed. And horticulture just increases food gather rate. The first wood upgrade is not really worth much, but it's so cheap. I guess I'll add it now that I've already gone up the age. It's not worth the gold early. So guys, let's kill this archer and then let's get in this watchtower. So I believe they will actually shoot arrows out of any building they're in if it's already a ranged unit. Now these archers are going to come around here as well. Oh, look at that. It shoots like 5 arrows now, guys. And it looks like it doesn't have a minimum range as well. So I don't think there's any sort of murder holes upgrade in this game, guys. All right, let's get another mining camp so that we can boom up behind this. For those who don't play Age of Empires, boom as getting a bunch of town centers, building a lot of villages so that you can have a huge economy a bit later in the game. So these archers can come forward now. And remember, stand ground stance. It's not a stance, I don't think. I think when you tell them to stand ground, they just stay wherever they are. We also want to get set up camp. So this will be a cool upgrade. It allows us to heal our archers. Uh-oh, run! Okay, so guys, he's got horses. Check this out. So these archers are now they're gonna place palisades. So notice they're building some palisades. So when he charges, that's gonna stun. It does 25 damage to each of his horsemen, 155 hit point unit, and it stuns them for a second as well. So very cool little ability there that the longbowmen have. Now we didn't get textiles, which is why my villages are kind of weak. And let's also check our blacksmith. Did we get both upgrades? It looks like we forgot to actually get the upgrades. And we don't have any gold. So let's put some guys on gold. Let's also grab... Remember I said get another wood camp? Let's get that. Oh, that's a mining camp, guys. I keep forgetting because the keys are a little bit different to what I'm used to. A bit of a misplaced farm, but it is what it is, whatevs. Okay, so we're just going to leave that. Let my opponent rebuild now. Not because I want to play with my opponent, but because I don't really know what I'm doing in this game, guys. So we're still trying to figure out all the basics. So we're going to get textiles there. And as we're getting mining upgrade, we got the wood upgrade already, the previous one. Did we get a food upgrade? Ooh, okay. How many guys we got here? 13. Well, that is a lot of farms, but I don't think it's 13. We misplaced some of them, but whatevs. It is what it is. Kind of tells you where to put your farms, which is hilarious. Makes things nice and casual for you, sir. We're going to take a few off gold onto wood, because we just obviously spent a lot on all that. Let's get the ranged arrow upgrade. And we don't actually have many guys right now, so this is kind of a concern. Now, we need a lot more wood. Okay. And we also want to build some barracks so that we can actually start massing up the spearmen to deal with the horsemen that are so common. Horsemen, archers, very common composition, I find. Longbowmen, pretty good versus their archers, and spearmen, of course, good versus the cavalry. Archers, of course, not bad versus infantry in general as well. So it's just kind of a nice thing to just remember. If you're going to go archers, guys, good idea to open up the spearman tech as well. Now, we are now at a very healthy food economy. So we built a few more farms than we needed to. Okay. So notice he's attacking me. So we're trying to garrison our units here, and that means they're all shooting arrows as well. So we're going to take these guys, or at least some of them, sorry. And we're going to try and secure another gold. Let's all go back to work first of all. Oh, shit. So I just did F for that. Oh, maybe there's a back to work button that's a bit different. Return to work. I don't think it has a hotkey. Shit. Alright, let's just click these on the farms. And where's gold? Okay, so let's just build another Another town center down here. Okay. Okay. And other than that town center, we also want to, like I said, build those barracks. So... Okay. So we're making sure we are keeping up villager production. And we're just keeping up rallying to wood here. 17 on food. You see I've got way more than I can really spend. But we are going to up our villager production, which will help with that a little bit. And it looks like my opponents kind of held me off now, which is good for them. We can get ranged armor. And then we can get the regular armor. Then we can get melee damage as well after that for our spearmen. Oops, I accidentally just built a Vanguard Man-at-Arms. So if you want to delete a unit, just got to left-click it in that portrait to get rid of it. Alright, we need more guys on wood quite desperately because spearmen use wood, longbowmen use wood. Yeah, everything uses wood. You always want to rally to your wood, I find, in Age of Empires games and just kind of almost overcommit to that. These guys are going to do that one. They're going to finish building that and then actually go back to wood. And I'm just going to let this one rally to gold so we can increase our gold mining steadily. But we don't want to go too hard on that. Now, actually, one of the cool things here is we could just take a few of these food farmers since we have so much of it. When we get a little bit more gold and go up to the next stage, then we can level up our archers and our spearmen. So we can get the veteran spearmen and the veteran archers. And then we can try to do a big push with that. We could also build a forward keep with our next stone. So that one costs 800 stone. Basically, it's a castle. And you can build everything out of a keep. Trebuchets, knights, like literally whatever your heart desires, you build that out of there. So, cool. So we're now building more guys, rallying those to gold over here, guys. As we hit 600 gold, we can now go, ooh, we can get a keep or we can get a town center. So let's just get a town center for now because I wanted one of those. And we'll build it up here. So it's going to be allowing us to return, check it out, berries and wood. So let's take a few of these guys, build that up there. Let's keep building spearmen, longbowmen, and add that armor upgrade. I like to put my spearmen on 1, my archers on 2. You can control click, of course, to select a unit of your choice. Keep tapping the villager production. I like to put all my town centers on number 4. If you guys want, you can press H as the default key. Bounces you between all your town centers. There's also some other buttons which you can customize. So F3, I believe, is blacksmith, and F1, I actually made something else. F4 does something as well. Can't quite remember. Maybe F4 is all military buildings or something like that. I don't know. There's a bunch of hotkeys in there, but a few of them aren't super perfect. Let's get more food upgrade. We'll get the mining upgrade when we can. We need a lot more gold to do that. These eco upgrades in Age of Empires, of course, are just so important. We'll build another lumber camp just so they don't have to run as far, guys. And let's just keep building spearmen and longbowmen. Keep your composition simple when you're starting out. And you can have a good time. So, is that third town center equivalent ready? It's not going to be ready for ages. This is what's getting us to Castle Age. It's the King's Palace. So let's put a few more guys on that, shall we? Yeah, so we're telling a whole bunch more dudes to get over there. Okay. So we're a little low on food now, you're going to notice. But we've got 20 dudes on wood. So you just want to grab a bunch of guys off wood and go, okay, that's fine. I just grabbed 6 guys. Let's build 6 farms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Beautiful. Just click on one of those to make sure they do it. Pretty sure they will anyway, but maybe grab 3 more actually, since we're still rallying there. Yeah. So you always want to build your farms around your mill. It's a food delivery point and your town centers. So this here is going to be like a town center. We can get the berries there. So these guys are actually going to shift click on the berries when they're done. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take these guys' wood rally points, rally to the wood. And guys, that puts us in the next stage, which means unlocks new upgrades. So first priority, if we're not attacking, wood upgrade, always most important thing in Age of Empires. We get the gold upgrade is pretty useful as well. Why not? And let's get the next food upgrade, which we need a bit more gold before we can do. So you know what? We've still got a good wood bank, and we're rallying 2 of our town centers to wood already. Let's rally a few more to gold just temporarily to get these upgrades. So we pulled a few off wood. Let's get that fertilization. Now we can also get veteran bowmen, and we can also get veteran spearmen. More gold required now. Right now, that's fine. So let's just make sure we're building check out our villager queue across all of our town centers now. So we've got 3 town center equivalency. That's pretty huge. And these all can be garrisoned to defend your workers. So whenever you get raided, if you have a town center nearby, it's good. So notice we build town centers next to gold, wood, and that's also what you build farms around. So they kind of protect your economy as they go. Let's get the spearman upgrade. Let's get the bowman upgrade. And we'll get the other stuff when we can. It's all the gold is the big shortage, right? So let's also take a few of these guys and farm. And farm, I guess. Why not? Farm. Yep. Okay. So now we can just keep building spearmen, keep building longbowmen. We're nowhere near 800 stone, which we need for that forward keep. Always good to anchor a push, guys, with a keep. So let's put a bunch more guys on there. Let's actually change this town center rally to this wood, since that's not really being used anymore. Let's get extra range damage. Remember, that's really important. And then we can get our ranged armor. And then our other armor. So we can just queue all those up on the blacksmith. Which, remember, I think is F3 for the blacksmith is the default key. At this point, keep queuing up villages, of course. And let's build just a whole bunch of houses. Remember, there's no point really walling, because units can always move around them anyway. So it just doesn't matter too much how you do them. And you can see here, another perfect town center location would be here or here somewhere, next to the stone, the berries, the gold. So they make it really easy for you in terms of like, oh, where do I put my stuff? The game basically tells you where. It's like, there's a ton of resources here. If you don't build them here, you're crazy. So guys, we can also now go EQ for monastery, and we can start picking up relics. Obviously, that's going to be a good steady income source. Now, if you screw up your income, the market is one of the most useful things in Age games. So we're going to build a market, just so we have it ready. I don't know if there's a set hotkey for it, so I'm actually going to put that on control group 9. Just so I can select it easily when I want to sell things, and I'm like, oh shit, I really need this, I really need that. So we're going to put some guys on that gold, but let's also go up here and just get the other gold going ahead of time, just to make sure that our gold mining is a little diversified, shall we? So these guys are going to be rallied onto this stone, onto that. That one rallied there. Notice we're still rallying onto wood. This is the important thing. Now, I'm pretty sure your farms automatically reseed when they run out of food. You can also get enclosures, which is basically a gold farm, which is a super cool English thing. For late game, once you get Imperial. It's kind of ridiculous. But it is what it is. Oh, check it, guys. We've got the stone. I'm actually going to change one town center to the stone mine, just so we have some more next time. But let's go forward, okay? So we want to go forward and try to, like, maybe take the center sacred point. There's 3 sacred sites. Oh, okay. Not the most important area. Maybe we can, like, take a gold down here. Or maybe we can just push my opponent through the middle, actually. Let's try and just push my opponent through the middle. So we're just going to rally spearman, rally bowman. Building. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's build a forward keep here. Oh, there's stone walls, eh? Okay. So we're going to try and speed build that keep. Okay. Guys, check it. Get up to the next stage behind this. So this has got some upgrades, the Berkshire Palace. Okay, some spearmen coming forward. Okay, did we ever get the... Okay. Ooh, fight. Okay, did we lose all of our villages? We didn't. Okay, we've still got some in there. Oh, my archers were A-moved there, and they were attacking the building instead of the enemy archers. So they can be kind of stupid. Spearmen not good versus archers, but he doesn't seem to have anything else. Still building up this forward keep. We can build trebuchets once we've got that up from it. And basically start sieging our opponent. So that should be a nice way of finishing the game off. Looks like my opponent was still maybe reeling from the earlier damage. He does have veteran archers, so they're not the worst by any means. But we can also get military academy. This just cuts down unit production times. Alright, so it looks like we're good. And notice here, we now have the OP keep at the front of our base. We can build a trebuchet. Now, trebuchet is 500 wood, 250 gold. They have made them ridiculous. Mangonels have to kind of siege up to fire as well. We'll build one of those. Show you guys what that's about. Looks like he surrendered. And I don't know if we can stay in game. But remember, pretty fun game. Plays a bit like Age of Empires 2. I'm playing with a bit of lag because I'm in Australia. But the units are a little clunky. They feel like there's a bit of input lag. They're not the most microable. You can still do a bit of pulling back units. I think the thing I'm saddest about is you can't dodge arrows. For me, that's like, oh man, I wish you could dodge arrows. I think that's some of the funnest micro that makes Age of Empires 2 so exciting. And I look at these battles and I go, damn, you can't dodge arrows. That's kind of a bummer because that's so Age of Empires to me. I think that's one of my biggest kind of disappointments in terms of that. But it is kind of what it is. Let's take a look at the statistics here so you can see, okay, cool. Technology, I got 110 villages. I went in there at 59 at the end. We actually got to the second age about the same time, 5 minutes. I don't actually know what a good time is or anything. I haven't really looked at any resources. But I hope you guys enjoyed this first look. Do I like it? Yeah, I've played it a few times. I think it definitely needs a wireframe, though. Not having a wireframe in an RTS game, like the ability to not look at the bottom. Like when your units are all jumbled up and you want to pull back a weak unit, that's what the wireframe's for. So you can look down the bottom and you can kind of go, hey, wait a second. Like, let's actually, oh, that's the unit that's taking damage. Quick, select it there, pull it back. It's so that you can split units off to scout different areas of the map without having to go click them somewhere, and then go, oh, how do I redo my control group? Do I reselect my control group, shift click on the unit on the screen, and then remake the control group? Like, get out of here. That is ridiculous. So I really think something like a SC2 or Age of Empires 2 wireframe is going to be really necessary. I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. So check this out. Okay, so Age of Empires 2 in-game. So when you're in-game, it's this area down here. Check it out. See here? We've got 10 archers selected. I know that's kind of small. I'll try to make it bigger. Actually, that's made it smaller. But check it out. There's 10 archers. You can see their hit points. If one's getting damaged, you can click it there, tell it to pull back, so that if they're all on top of each other, it's not so hard. Whereas trying to do it on the screen in this game, sometimes the units get on top of each other. Not having a wireframe is a bummer. It's also, oh, I want to select these guys with swords. Okay, I can control click or shift click those, depending on if it's StarCraft or Age of Empires. It'll select all of them, put them on a different control group. I can, individually shift click or control click units out of the selection and remake the control group without them. There's so many things you can do with a wireframe. So not having a wireframe is absolutely indefensible in an RTS. The other big one is those upgrades, those keys, those buttons. I want them to be colorful and I want them to be easily distinguishable. Same point, check it out down here. Very clear colors, and they're all kind of coded big red arrows. It's all very easy to distinguish what each one is once you learn what they are because it's color coded. Having everything look the same down there, I'm hoping this is just because it's a stress test. And when game comes out, they're all beautifully colored and very distinctive graphics down there in the bottom. I think that'll make a huge, huge difference in terms of people picking up the game, remembering what the things are and enjoying it. I'm already, after a few games, starting to remember what they are. Not everyone's a bloody RTS expert like me, though, are they? So you just want to make that a little bit less painful, and it's also more satisfying when there's upgrades and units with different colors and things. So I think that'll be really cool. The balance of the game and the design choices, where each faction's quite different. You go up ages without actually sacrificing production. You can scout rush people and stuff, but it directly sacrifices worker production because you can't build workers and scouts at the same time. There's a crazy amount of food on the maps. There's a few island maps that are kind of forced into ladder pool. Thank God doing this video, you guys didn't get one, or this would be an hour-long video where your opponent just doesn't leave most of the time. It's so boring. Just not a big fan of water maps. I feel like you should be able to veto them. So fingers crossed when the actual ladder comes out on release, that will be a thing. So anyway, thanks for hanging out, guys. I hope you liked the video. A few missing features so far. Input lag on the unit seems a little bit clunky, but I can actually handle that in an Age game because for me, it's all about the big picture. It's about the macro. It's about securing different areas and allocating your resources in the right way to set up your pushes. And I've actually had some fun pulling back weak units and stuff like that. Some of my funnest moments so far in this game, like there was a ship battle I was having earlier, right? This player was raiding Zombie Grub. We were playing some 2v2s. He was hitting her docks and stuff. And I came in and kind of trapped him in the kind of harbor that he'd gone into with his boats. And we ended up in this big fight. It was very even ship numbers, but I realized that he was actually focus firing me, whereas I was trying to just set up a nice arc, a nice concave of ships, so they were all firing without getting stuck behind each other. And I was like, oh, that might be the right thing to do here. But rather than counter-focusing, I just focused on pulling back my weak units that he was focus firing, and my opponent, I guess, wasn't watching after just shift-clicking the ships, because then all the ships were just trying to get past my ship as I had one ship just dancing behind my line of ships, and all of his ships stopped attacking, and I killed like a dozen galleys and I didn't lose a single one. So that was kind of happy. That was a happy moment. But otherwise, it's been archers versus men-at-arms, or the basic infantry, where I'm pulling back the archer that's taking damage, rotating it to the back of the pack. And you can also get their upgrade where they set up a little campfire. I didn't get to show you guys that, actually, in that game. And they just sit around it and they heal up. So you can do that in between fights, which is really cool. One of the wilder things is how many healing bonuses there are in the game as well. So when you build a keep like that, like I was at the end, it actually sets up this giant healing aura around it where all your units get healed in it. Likewise, docks have the same thing. If your ship's anywhere near a dock, it has this ring around it. Any ship in that area constantly just gets healed for free. So there's some big defensive bonuses, which has always been a feature of Age of Empires, but there's still many ways to go get behind a wood line, kill some villagers, deny their wood. Oh, they've got to go to a new wood line. You get over there, deny that wood. It's hard for their town center, even though it's auto-attacking, even without being garrisoned, to cover that much stuff. The buildings are big and huge, and you have to spread out very quickly, which is the nature of Age of Empires. Overall, I think this definitely seems, as much as people have been saying it's Age of Empires 3, it's Age of Empires 3, it looks wrong. Outside of graphical stuff, it does feel pretty similar to Age of Empires 2. Do I think this will replace Definitive Edition or anything like that? Guys, it's a first impression. I've played a few games. I have no idea. This is also a stress test version of the game. I'm not going to go out and make any statement. This is going to be terrible. This is going to be great. I will say, I personally am going into it with lower expectations because that's just how I like to consume games. I don't like to go and say, oh, StarCraft 2 has to be the same as Brood War and as good as Brood War. Age of Empires 3 had to be as good as Age of Empires 2. Age of Empires 4 now has to be better than Definitive Edition and have all of its good features. I'm happy to just take this as its own game, see how it goes, enjoy it, and I personally have my fingers crossed for another really exciting competitive RTS environment because that would just be exciting and fun. If not, who knows? Maybe we just get some fun campaigns, play a few fun team games, and we move on from it. Either way, fingers crossed for the better outcome there, some more esports. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you guys next time. I'll do some more follow-up content as I unlock and discover some things in the game, maybe with some more criticisms, maybe with some more love for it. Catch you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.